We're in this portion of Scripture where God comes in with a cure. He gives a solution to those who are his enemies. So today we're going to zoom in on one verse, verse 6, where James says, but he gives a greater grace. Therefore, it says, God is opposed to the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Well, now stop a minute and think. James begins with but. What do you know about but? But indicates to us a contrast. So you and I need to think a minute about what James is contrasting. He just finished talking about those who are God's enemies. What is it they need? They need God's grace. So he's contrasting them with God, who has a grace that is greater, and he's willing to give it to them. Now, even stop and think a minute more about God's grace being greater. Greater than what? Well, God's grace is greater than everything that James has touched on. It's greater than the world and all it has to offer. It's greater than our lustful desires, those pleasures that are waging war within. It's greater than our sin. It's greater than our selfish hearts. It is greater than any evil. And Satan, it's even greater than death. Well, if grace is greater than anything and everything, shouldn't you and I really understand what grace is and what it does? Now, you may have your pat answers like I do. I learned that grace is God's unmerited favor. What does that mean? Or you might have learned the acronym, God's riches at Christ's expense. Again, what does that really mean? Today, join me as we go in and we dig a little bit deeper, because you're going to walk away understanding what God's grace is and what it does and be able to explain it to others. Let's go meet with our gracious Lord.